welcome back to my channel. It's Maureen from CrochetCavalier. Today we're going to be learning the very basics of how to start learning to crochet. First thing we need to do is choose our hook. There's all different size hooks. I'm using a 4mm hook today with this 8-ply acrylic yarn that I have here. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is what side goes where. If you're right-handed, you will hold your hook in the right hand. The yarn will be on your left. I am left-handed, but I've learnt to crochet right-handed as a child, so that's the way I'm still doing it. So the very first thing that I usually do is work out how long the tail is going to be of my work. I usually choose about 12 centimetres, just so it's not too long that it's getting in my way, and it's not too short that my work will come undone too easily. So about that long. All right, how I hold my hook. This hook that I'm using, a Clover Amour, has a nice silicone handle on it. And I like this one because it has this flat edge on it where I can rest my thumb. So it's an ergonomic hook. It's very comfortable for me to use. So my thumb goes on there and my index finger rests up here. And I will use my index finger to hold the loop on my hook that I'm crocheting with. All right, my other 3 fingers are wrapped around my hook this way, and they will be holding my work as it gets bigger along with my thumb. So I usually have my thumb rested on the front here, these 3 fingers wrapped around the back, and I'll hold my work and my hook at the same time. And in that way, I don't have to move my hand too much. I just will be using a nice smooth movement as I'm crocheting. It reduces strain on my neck and my shoulders, and I'm able to keep my elbows down. The yarn will go in my left hand. Again, as I said, about 12 centimetres for a tail. And the way I wrap my yarn around my fingers, there's many different methods that different people use, and you have to work out what's right for you, but this is the way that I was taught. So wrap around the little finger, behind the ring finger, in front of the middle finger, and around the index finger. And in that way, as I'm working, the yarn just very easily slides through my fingers. See, as it's going through like that, and doesn't snag. Okay, I know some others will wrap it around their small finger. I find that a little bit more restrictive, so this method has worked for me. All right, so that's how I'll be holding my hand, and my thumb and middle finger will be holding the yarn, and also as my work gets bigger, I'm able to hold my work with this hand as well as this hand. So then the only motion I'm doing as I'm crocheting is this sort of movement. Okay, I'm not having to do any more than that, and and it's actually quite relaxing way to crochet. Everybody's different. I've seen some others do lots of different ways that they're doing it. There is no right or wrong way. You will just learn what's comfortable for you. All right, so the very first thing we need to do is make a slip knot. Okay, to make a slip knot, I just turn my work this way, like that. And then I will use these 2 fingers to pull that side of the yarn through. So it makes a nice, easy slip knot that opens and closes. All right, insert my hook in there and pull it nice and tight. Okay, you can start your work this way. If you're working in the round, many people will actually make what they call a magic ring. So that's the other method. Wrap around those 2 fingers and wrap around that way, and you'll be working through the 2 loops. I'm going to be showing you how to work straight at the moment instead of working in the round way. So again, let's make our slip knot. Pull it through there and pull it tight. Not too tight, so that you can work through that hole. Okay, in front, behind, in front, behind, and around. Okay, these 2 fingers, thumb and middle finger, now will be holding this tail just for now, so that we can make a chain. The way that we make a chain is that we push the hook in front of the yarn. That's called yarning over. All right, and we're going to pull it through that loop. Yarn over and pull through the loop. All right, so can you see with my hook, I'm not turning it this way or that way. I'm keeping it facing me as I'm doing this, making the chains, so that when I yarn over, I'm actually facing the wool. Now I'm turning and pulling it through that loop. Okay, yarn over, the yarn is grabbing underneath the hook. Now I'm going to turn it slightly down and pull it through the chain. Yarn over, turn it slightly down and through the chain. All right, as it's getting longer, you can move your fingers up to hold it in place, and that makes it easier to make your chain. Okay, just a few more stitches. We'll make a few more chain stitches. All right, then you've got your beginning chain. Now to count your stitches, if you can see there, they look like little V's. All right, we're going to count each of those V's is one stitch. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 stitches on my hook. Okay, the very first stitch we're going to be learning today is a single crochet. All right, to make a single crochet, you're going to work directly into one of these stitches. We're going to skip the first stitch and go into the second one. Push through there. Going to yarn over. Now turn your hook slightly so that it can come through that hole there. And now you've got 2 loops on your hook. Can you see how I'm holding this down so that it's not, the work's not slipping away from me? And my fingers here are wrapped around my hook, holding it nice and firm. And with this index finger, I'm holding these 2 loops, so they're not going to slip off the hook. I'm going to yarn over, turn my hook slightly down, and pull it through those 2. Okay, that's your first single crochet. Let's now work into the next stitch. So the next stitch along will be this, in this V here, at the bottom of it. Push through, yarn over, turn your hook slightly down, pull it through, and yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Again, into the next stitch, push through, yarn over, turn your hook slightly down, pull through, yarn over, and pull it through those 2. So now that you're getting a little bit of a work happening here on this side, you can start to hold that with your fingers as well. All right, so with your thumb and your index finger, you can now hold the work on this side and on this side. It just makes it a little bit easier to control. Push through, yarn over, turn your hook slightly down, pull through, hold your work if that makes it easier, yarn over and pull through. I always find this first row, this foundation row, a little bit more fiddly to work. Once your work starts getting bigger, it's not as fiddly and it's easier to maneuver. All right, so I'm just working all the way along all of those chains. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Push through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. Push through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Push through this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 2. I've got one last stitch here. Push through, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, and pull through those 2. And that's your first row of single crochet. Okay, now to work the next row, what you do is chain 1 and turn your work. All right. Now, depending on the pattern, some patterns will tell you to work into the first stitch. Others will say that the first stitch, they will say the chain one is not a stitch. So then you would be working into that first gap there. If they say that the first chain is a stitch, then you would possibly work into the next hole as the second stitch. Okay, but we're going to be working into this first hole here. So push through that hole there, yarn over and pull out, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. Push through, yarn over and pull out, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. And let's keep working along till the end of the row. When you get to the end, it can be a little bit confusing sometimes to know if that's the last stitch. But there is actually 1 stitch just still left there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through the 2. Okay, there you've got 2 rows of your single crochet stitch. You're on your way. All right, again, to start the next row, you would chain 1 and turn your work. And then you'd be working into each of these holes here with a single crochet. Okay, again, single crochet is, do you remember? Into the hole, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through both loops. Into the hole, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and through both loops. Okay, I'm going to stop the video and just finish this next row. So there we have our first 3 rows of single crochet. Okay, so that's the very first stitch that you've learned today. And next stitch we'll be learning is the half double crochet. Now I'm using the US terminology: single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, double treble. Okay, that's the terminology that I'm using. There is also the UK terminology, which is a little bit different, but I'm not going to be talking about that today. All right, so I hope that's helped you just with the basics of how to start crocheting, how to hold your yarn and your hook, and to learn your first stitch single crochet. Okay, bye for now.